This video contains commentary. What's crack-a-lackin', you crazy mother truckers? Welcome back to Storytime with your favorite Reddit fairy. My name is Lorna, and today we're getting into some r/ChoosingBeggars. But that's not all. I'm also gonna get into some r/older than you think I am. So without further ado, smash that subscribe button, sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. My entitled sister demands dog care, and more. Posted by user Amy Likes Tea. So my older sister has been living with us for 3 months. She used to live with her best friend, but there was a fight, and my mom drove out to get her from LA, which is about an hour away from us. She half-heartedly looks for a job, gets one at a bridal shop, but only works half a shift. She went in sick with sinus issues and a cough, even though both me and my mom told her not to, because the cough might send people into a panic. When the state went on lockdown, she was officially let go. She came to us with her dog River, who is a sweetheart. Entitled sister got a friend to buy her a plane ticket to go see them. When she asked for a ride to the airport, right away I said no. I also told her she shouldn't be going and should save what little money she had. Yes, her friend bought her a ticket, but she was no doubt going to spend money during the trip. I forgot what a manipulative leech she can be because she said her friend was paying for everything during the trip. This was before the lockdown, so an airport shuttle was still an option. Jump to yesterday when she asks me how much money it will take to drive her. I flatly tell her, I don't want to take you. She snottily replies, "That isn't what I asked you. I asked how much I would have to pay you to take me." As if turning it from a favor to a job would change my mind. I tell her 500, hoping to get my point across. For some reason, she thinks I'm being serious and tells her friend, who she is on the phone with, that I am being a bratty little extortionist. I stand my ground until she says she is kidding. Yeah, right. I have listened to at least 2 phone fights she has had with her friends because her kidding around sound dead serious. Not that any of this ended up mattering. My mom told her that if she insisted on traveling at this time, then when she came back, she would have to find somewhere else to self-quarantine herself. She later complained to me how unreasonable our mother was being. Today, she was taking a nap at 11 in the morning, and when she woke up, I let her know that River needed to go out. Entitled sister, "So, take him out." Me, "No, he is your dog." Entitled sister, "So, you heard him whining and didn't do anything about it?" Me, "Okay, next time I will wake you up." She tries to go back to sleep, but River's whining gets to her. As she's putting on her shoes, she tells me that I'm being a bit of a bitch. Now, this made me angry, which doesn't happen often. Me, "Look, don't order me to take care of your dog, and don't get mad if you do ask me and I say no. River is your dog. I get that you're sleepy, but then again, you were up past midnight on the phone." This leads to us yelling. Her telling me to not talk to her like that. Me telling her to just not talk to me at all. She takes River out and comes back to restart the fight from different angles, despite saying several times she doesn't want to fight. Each time I point out that she's still yelling when I already agreed to drop it. The fight ends when she has an epiphany and realizes that she's picking a fight like she feels our mother does. I tell her, "Mom doesn't do that with me because we don't fight like you guys do." I left her to hyperventilate over being like Mom and went back to my show. But I'm glad I got my point across that me helping out now and again with River is not a right. If she had not been feeling well, things would have been different, but I knew she was just tired from staying up late. Trust me, next time I will wake her spoiled ass up. My mom and I do so much for her, and it's like she doesn't care. Yeah, you gotta wonder, like, was this girl one of those little girls that was like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, I want a puppy," and drove her, like, mom batshit crazy with this, request for a puppy, and then the mom's like, yeah, and the dad, maybe, whatever, the mom, who knows what their situation is. Anyway, they're like, "Yeah, you gotta pick up the poop. If it makes an accident in the house, you gotta take care of that. You gotta take them for walks. You gotta show them love. You gotta do this, blah, 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 blah," and they're probably like, "Yeah, mommy, I'll do all of that," and then they turn into this, like, wake the fuck up, take your dog outside, take care of your dog, like they love you unconditionally, and you're just gonna push them to the side like that in their moment of need. Like, they need to go to the bathroom, and then if they make an accident, then you're gonna be mad because you gotta clean that up, and then you're gonna blame it on the dog, and it's your fucking fault. Just saying. All right, my dudes, before I get into the next story, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications for future videos just like this one. All right, the next story is called Choosing Beggar Wants Ice Cream in a Cone, even though we can't because of you know what. Posted by user Roman Marie. On mobile, so formatting is wonky. Sorry. So I work at McDonald's. Been there 3 years in June. And people act like this is normally. But especially because of the panic, people are really getting on our nerves and just being dicks. Since McDonald's is considered essential, we still do our takeout and delivery. Because of not wanting to spread the virus, we have to do some things different, such as giving drink carriers if there's more than 2 drinks, McFlurries, sundaes, etc. In addition, we cannot serve ice cream cones unless we put them upside down in a dish. Most people don't mind and understand why we're doing it. This one person didn't get it and didn't like it. So it was a late Friday night. I close 3 days a week, and we're going about our business, and someone orders a cone with their order. No big deal. 5 swirls of vanilla and cone on top. My manager hands the dish to me, and I go to hand it to them. The woman just looks at me, confused. Choosing beggar. I said I wanted a cone. Me. Being cheery as normal. Yeah. We made sure to make it big like normal cones, but we can't hand them out unless they're in a dish because of the scare. Choosing beggar. But I wanted a cone, though. She takes the cone off and shows the inside. Like, there's no ice cream in the cone, which we don't normally do. You get it? Me. Still being as nice as I could. I understand, ma'am, but we can't serve it like normal. Choosing beggar starting to get upset. But I wanted a cone. Now, I'm not confrontational at all. I have autism diagnosis, and these kinds of customers just freak me out, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like a big deal. They don't know this, and I'm trying my best to stay calm. In spite, I call my manager over to handle it. Long story short, he said the same things I did, and she ended up throwing the dish on the ground of the drive-thru, and my manager tried his best not to slam the door. He apologized to me about having to deal with that, and we just went on like normal. People don't understand that we don't want to spread illness and are trying our best to stay alive. When people like this come around, it makes it hard to be nice. This isn't my first encounter with someone like this, but let me know if this story belongs here or another subreddit. I mean, they're not really choosing beggar because they're paying for it, right? But like, why are you getting ice cream? Like, why are you out right now? Like, getting ice cream. That's not essential. Ice cream is not essential. Some people might argue with that statement, I'm sure. Some people just really love ice cream, kind of like I really love coffee, and coffee is essential to me. But that's why I brew it at home, my dudes. Learn how to make ice cream. I don't know. I'm a fucking dick. I know. Okay, let's get into the next story. This one is called Choosing Beggar Attacking a Doctor, who, of course, has nothing else going on right now. Posted by user Mother Spinach. First time poster. I'm a physician. Obviously, things have been a bit crazy lately. I've been doing telemedicine during my downtime for a large company since many people cannot get in to see their doctors. The way it works is that there's a virtual queue of patients. The next patient pops up. The next available doctor takes the consult. We can't choose who we see. We can't access any other chart except for the one we're consulting on. So I call the next patient that pops up. He tells me that he's fine, but he wants to consult for his wife. She's not registered as a patient with the service, but in his words, I figure it would be quicker to do it this way. I explained to him that I cannot consult on a patient who is not registered, and I cannot document one person's information in another patient's chart. In addition, if a prescription is needed, I can't electronically prescribe for a patient whose chart I'm not in and doesn't even exist. So he starts telling me about her problem. I ask him to please stop as I cannot consult her. Then wife picks up the phone and starts telling me her problem. I explain the situation again. She starts yelling. So you don't even want to hear what's wrong with me? What about your Hippocratic oath? I tell her that no, I actually don't want to hear what's wrong with her because I can't help her. She needs to register as a patient like everyone else, and I have a line of 200 other patients waiting for a call back. And this is not an exaggeration. Her choices are register with the service or call her regular doctor. or urgent care if it is an urgent situation. She starts yelling, "What's your name? Tell me your name. Tell me your..." Click. I will say, that is the unparalleled beauty of telemedicine, the ability to hang up on someone. But seriously, doctors and nurses are working our asses off right now and doing our best. Don't give me your "let me speak to your manager" attitude today, Karen. You tell them. See, from the physicians. Guys, they are going through so much right now. They are working around the clock. Oh, it's not a fun time to be a doctor or a nurse. That's all I can say, I assume. All right, that's all I got for you for the r/ChoosingBeggars subreddit. Now we're going to get into some r/older than you think I am. This one is called, "So, my friend, 22 years old, can't buy alcohol, but his brother, 17 years old, can." Posted by user Tanya Hillian. Hillian? I don't know. Okay, so first some context. I've got a friend who, like me, was 22 years old when this story happened. He's always looked way younger than he is though, being rather skinny, short, unable to grow a beard, and dressing mostly with bright colors, pink, purple, etc. He's got a little brother, however, who is actually taller than him, has a prominent beard, and works out, so he has muscles. His voice is also deeper in general, and he has a more serious attitude than my friend. So yeah, he looks older than either of us. Anyways, it was my friend's birthday, and we decided to celebrate it at his home. He invited all of our friends, and they were supposed to arrive at midday, but I actually arrived about an hour earlier because I live quite close and just wanted to help him out with preparations. His brother was also already there because he'd actually stayed with my friend for the night, as he lives quite far away and didn't want to wake up super early in order to arrive on time. Since it was very near to Halloween, my friend decided that he wanted to buy some spooky things to decorate his home a bit before the rest of our friends arrived. So we went to the nearby market and did just that. On the way back, however, we passed an OXXO, and my friend remembered that his boyfriend had asked him to get some beers, and he also wanted to buy some chips and stuff for his party. So we headed inside and started picking the stuff we were going to buy. Once we were done, we headed to the cashier to pay for our stuff, except his brother, who was still looking at the sodas because he wanted one, but still hadn't decided which flavor. There was just one person before us, so we didn't have to wait much and placed all the stuff to be scanned. Now, this is important for the story. In my country, it's very unusual that they ask for your ID to sell you alcohol or cigarettes if you look clearly over 18, but it still happens sometimes. However, since neither my friend nor I usually buy alcohol, we didn't think of bringing our IDs with us. Still, as 22 years old adults, we didn't think there would be a problem for us buying beers. The cashier started scanning the chips and sweets and stuff, but when he got to the beer, he paused and asked for our IDs. My friend and I looked at each other nervously, and I told him that I had left mine at his home, while he started searching for his own wallet. It wasn't there. Just in that moment, his brother came holding his bottle of soda and placed it with the other things to be scanned. Then he asked if there was a problem. Cashier: "Are you with them?" Friend's brother: "Yeah." Cashier: "Oh, are the beers for you?" My friend's brother seemed to realize what was happening and immediately nodded his head, despite knowing it was a lie. Cashier: "I see. I'm sorry for the inconvenience." He then proceeded to scan the beers and the soda. We paid and then went on our way, laughing about what had just happened. That's pretty funny. Like, the kid, he's like a teenager, and the guy's like, "Oh, okay, this guy's, I guess if you're, like, standing in comparison to other people that look younger than you, then I guess that would make you seem a lot older." So it's the power of perception and different different illusions you can see. Like, you see something one way, look at it another, it's completely different. That's what an optical illusion is, Lorna. Fucking idiot. All right, my dudes, let's get into the next story. This one is called, "Sir, I'm 28. Posted by user Viking King 3000. I want to start by saying I don't have a baby face. I don't look too old, but I don't look younger than I am. Right now, about 30. Because of this, I have only been carded once or twice in my life, and this first time it happened, it was kind of funny. It's a really big story, like a lot of other ones you read on Reddit, But this story gets a chuckle out of me when I think about it, and I just learned about this subreddit, and it's the closest subreddit I know of it that matches this story. So there's this store in my city that buys and sells used movies, games, books, and electronics. It's not like a small mom and pop pawn shop. It's a pretty good size with a large staff, and you can get good stuff at pretty good prices. And I've been there enough to know how to get a massive haul for an insanely good price. One thing to know about me is that I love nerdy stuff, have my whole life. My first memory is watching the first episode of Power Rangers. I have an impressive collection of superhero movies, graphic novels, and trade paperbacks, and I'm always looking for new sci-fi, fantasy, and anime. Enough setup. Anyway, I was at the above-mentioned store looking through the anime and found an anime movie I loved as a kid, but haven't seen in a very long time. This was a few years ago, by the way. I won't say the name of the movie. It involved a legendary flying animal tied closely to Emilia Clarke's character, 7 magic balls, and a massive tree. So I, of course, having such good memories of this movie, I bought it. When I went to check out, the employee, who I'm pretty sure was younger than me, says, "I'm sorry, but I need to see an ID because it has blood and some nudity." They used to play this movie on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, and the original version really isn't much bloodier than the one I saw as a kid, but whatever. I hand him my ID. He does that snotty look, looks at it, and then looks at me, and then hands it back, rings me up, almost acting as if he doesn't believe it's real, but knows he can't fight me on buying it, and I'm on my way. I know it's not the craziest story, but a few years later, and I still get a chuckle thinking about it. Thing that gets me is I buy R-rated movies and M-rated games in there regularly and have only been asked for an ID once while shopping there, and it was for a movie that played on a Cartoon Network before Adult Swim was a thing. Well, I'm sorry, my dudes, that was difficult to read. If that did not make sense. Okay, so basically he wanted to buy a game. He didn't believe that his ID was real, kind of double taked him on the card and him, and then eventually sold it to him. It's a cute little story. I get mistaken for younger all the time, which is awesome. But I've kind of got a rogue streak of gray going on the side of my head, so it's kind of like, really, come on, like who goes gray like this at like 16? Nobody. Come on, you know. I don't know, but I mean, I shouldn't complain. I'm not complaining. Let's move on to the next story. This one is called "School Thinks I'm a 9-year-old," posted by user gamer15372111. Background: I'm pretty young, 12 years old, and have a young face, as well as a very skinny body. I can get mistaken for a kindergartner. Now, on to the real story. When exams came, I am in middle school, I looked at the sheet that organized us into our rooms. This sheet had our names, second language, and birth date. Now, my birth date was written as 2010. This was back in 2019, but my birth date is 2007, December 31st. Now, I'm kind of a pushover and let it slide until everybody saw it and no one would actually believe that I'm 11 at the time. They told me, "No, you are 9, and that now it makes complete sense why you're so small." Now, I told them how I'm in the 7th grade then. Now, I was one of the smartest kids in class, so they said I must have got to skip years because of how smart I am. I actually took this as a compliment, so I didn't mind. Now, when I had grown sick of it, I barged into the office and jokingly said, "Where did you take the last 3 years of my life?" Now, they were weirded out when I explained everything. They laughed and said they would fix it. They never did, and still to this day, my friends don't believe I am 12. Some do actually, but they joke about it, and I will never get to live it down. That was so hard to read. Are you sure you're not 9? Oh, fuck, I'm an asshole. I'm going to hell. Oh my god, that was like, oh, the commas in the wrong places. It's just a run-on sentences. I don't like this subreddit. I don't think I'm going to return to this subreddit after this, my dudes. It's hard to get through. I'm sorry, no offense, OP, but that was really hard to get through. I've got one more of them. Hopefully this one is written a little bit better. Please, for my sanity, please be written a little bit better. Alright, my dudes, this last story is called "You Can't Teach Us, You're a Sixth Former," posted by user Captain Adam 5399. So I'm 21, but have a baby face, and have been told I can pass for anything between 12 and 18. I'm a maths teacher, and as part of training, I was on placements in school teaching secondary school. Now, whenever I'd first go into these schools, I could make any of the teachers feel old. I went to a school and ran into one of my old maths teachers, and he thought it was funny how he felt old. Students' initial reactions were always, "Who are you? Are you a sixth former?" And my personal favorite, "Are you the teacher's son?" I always found it hard to be authoritative and be taken seriously as I was only a few years older than the sixth formers, and I looked out of place. I know this is a short story, but it's always made me laugh how no matter where I go to teach, they always assume I'm a student or just anything but a teacher. Edit. Wow, this is turning into my most popular post. Thanks to all you awesome people. I can still remember sometimes when we had substitutes in school and they did not look like substitutes. We're like, "Are you a student?" No, they were like a few years older than us. So we're like, man, this is awkward. This is hella awkward. Do you have an older than you think I am story? Then let me know in the comments below, my dudes. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please smash that like button. It really helps me out. Don't forget to subscribe. That also really helps me out. And turn on all notifications for future videos just like this one. As always, the links to the stories will be in the description below, so head on over to Reddit and show those posters some love with some upvotes. You know they deserve it. Every other link that you would need to contact me in some way, shape, or form will be in the links below as well in the description. My dudes, you guys have a fan-fucking-tabulous day. I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace out.